Yeah. Josh does fantasy. You know what it is. Sunday coming quick, set your line up right. Josh got the plays, got the insight tonight. From the draft to the trades, he's ahead of the call. Breaking down the game, yeah, he's schooling us all. Josh does fantasy, football, that's the vibe. Grab your notes, tune in, it's a winning ride. Stats and laughs every week on tap. Josh got the heat, let's run it back. Josh does fantasy. Yeah, Josh does fantasy football.
Welcome into this week's episode of the recap for week 13. I'm going to switch to the scene here. That rhymed. Wow. Also fighting a little bit of a cold, so hopefully my voice is not too bad today, but probably make it a little bit shorter podcast or video recap here, whatever you want to call this. Probably do what I did last week and just not do the predictions for the following week. This seemed to save a bit of time, and I think going forward I'm going to have that a little more streamlined as well. I'm going to work on something, maybe not this season, but next season I'm going to do this. So we'll think about that a little bit over the off season. Alrighty, so we'll start with what we normally start with here, and that is the activity in the Dynasty League. So, running back to the waivers this week, I went ahead and because the only one that bid it here, but I did drop 21 fab on Cameron Shamir DK here after his week 12 against Seahawks. And my thought was, if he can put 18 points up against a top defense. Sorry, hold on, I can sneeze here. Hang on. Okay, I think I got it. If I sneeze randomly, though, I apologize. So hopefully I don't bust out your eardrums there. But, yeah, my thought was, he's had some good games here. He seems to be the number one option. Eilick is also, a decent option. But Eilick's a 66 wide receiver for the year. DK's 58. I just felt like DK was getting a little bit more targets and things, which maybe seems the case. I will say Iowa did miss that week 12 against Seahawks, so maybe that's why DK had a bit more oomph that week. But you know what? I didn't really dive too deep into that. I have fab. I don't want to have any leftover fab for the year, so I went and spent it on what I thought could be a stash for next year. I don't think anything's going to happen with the Titans this year. They have a lot of pieces they need to get put together. They need some more time to get the chemistry going. So I don't think this is a piece for this year or next, but for next year maybe. One of these guys is going to be the number one receiver. So we'll just see what happens next year. But I went ahead and picked him up there. Bryce got Dylan Sampson. Didn't do too much. He was out now. He only played 19% of the snaps, so I guess he probably got hurt during the game there, which makes sense. But I guess Juckins, was he hurt? No, he wasn't hurt. Maybe he was just picking him up for a potential stash in case Juckins does get hurt. So nothing wrong with that there if you got the spots. Having the backup RBs this time of year can be helpful. Drew picked up Chris Rodriguez, which seems to be the better back right now in Washington over old Bill. Bill's not turned out to be the best this year. Maybe next year. I'm not sure. We'll see. But let's see. Chris Rodriguez got 41% of the snaps, and old Bill got only 14. So not looking Not looking the best for him this year. We'll see if that changes next year, though. And then I picked up a kicker. Jake Elliott has just been garbage this year. I'm glad I did that, too. Because going into Monday night, which we'll talk about, well, I can go ahead. No, we'll talk about it in a minute. Coming Monday night, I needed just like 3 points. And from the kicker, which I got Andy there from New England. Don't know how to say his last name, so I'm going to call him Andy. But Jake only got me 2. So if I had played, if I kept Jake, I would have lost by 1 point. Spoiler alert, I won this week. Sorry, Kelly. We'll get to that in a second. And sorry as well if you hear my sniffles. Part of the cold. Let's see what else we can look at here. We don't really care about Pirtle picking up Mechie. That wasn't in or anything. I do want to talk about this trade here. Seegers and Jody. I'm not sure what... I don't know how to say this nicely. I don't sure what Seegers benefits from this, right? He's getting Dalton Kincaid, right, which has not been good this year. I don't know if he's ever been really that great. Yeah, so, and it's a tight end. I mean, if you're not getting one of the top 3 tight ends, typically you're not gonna have any difference maker. You know, there's between the tight end 12 and 19, very little points per game. So you got Calvin Ridley there, Seegers. He's age 30. He's maybe gonna play again. I don't know. If he does, he's probably not gonna be great. He's just getting old. He's aging out. For dynasty purposes, that's not an asset that you want to acquire, especially on a you're 3-10 now, so you're in the rebuild mode or the next year mode. You're not in the I'm gonna win it this year mode, right? So when you look at that that trade, it doesn't really help you out for next year, I don't think, with Ridley probably not playing. J.K. Dobbins, he may play. Let's see here. How do I get back there? How did I make it to smaller? What did I do here? Let's try to refresh it maybe. I don't know. Let's go back here. I like it when I can click on them. But apparently I can't do that now. How did that happen? It was not like that, and then it was. Okay, well, whatever. Dobbins may or may not play. He's had a lot of injuries. He's an aging running back. I can't click on him without going to your team. I guess I can go to your team. Let's just click on your team here. I mean, it's not even someone you could really play, right? I mean, you don't have him in your bench. You have him, I guess, on your IR. So I can't even pull him up here. Unfortunately. Yeah. Alright, I can pull him up this way, though. Watch this. We'll go this way. Alright, J.K. Dobbins there. IR. Can't even play him this year. He is no use to you. He's 26. He may have some more years. He's had so many injuries. He's not a running back that you want to have for a dynasty purpose. Even if he gives you one decent year, it's not going to be like he was. And really, he's only had a couple decent years, which would be 2020, his rookie year at Baltimore, and then last year. And he's only RB 22 and 23 those years. And really, in 2020, he's RB 22, but only had 157 points. That's not a lot. So, yeah, I don't think that's an asset you want. You want young assets, I think, when you're looking at dynasty trades for your team seekers there. And you may be new to dynasty. You may not have the knowledge there. But basically, you get 3 Blad players. Probably not going to give you a lot of value. Most likely, you're going to drop them next year at some point. Hang on, I may have sneeze again. 1 second here. All right, I'm back. I held it in, I think. Well, we'll see what happens. Anyways, so yeah, Seekers, you had three black players, not dynasty assets, and you traded your first round pick, which is going to be an earlier first round pick, for RJ Harvey and a 2026 pick from Jody. So you basically traded back in the rookie draft, which you need earlier picks, so you get more value. And you gave away RJ Harvey, which is a younger asset. That's what you want with Dynasty. You want that. So RJ Harvey is 24, right? J.K. Dobbins is 26. So that's 2 years. That's a big difference. But J.K. Dobbins has some more. He's got 5 years experience, so he's got a lot more work in the NFL. So he's got less tread on the tires, you know. But RJ Harvey is still pretty fresh. They're similar in age, right? You typically want to have your rookies coming in at a younger age, but you know, look at Lad McConkey and things like that. He's a little bit older as well. But you can see here, RJ Harvey this week, 19 points. 19 points. You didn't get 19 points out of the other three, all combined. It doesn't make sense to do that trade. And again, not beating you up too bad. Just when you think about dynasty, you really have to think about in your situation the future. Now, if you're a contender and you're trading for pieces that help you win now, which RJ Harvey may end up being that piece that a contender like Jody should pick up. But a more fair trade, in my opinion, for you would be RJ Harvey for Jody's first and second round pick next year. That would be, for a contender, he's got to overpay, right? And then you get like the 1-9, 110 potentially. Jody could win it all, right? So you get the last pick there. You double up your picks. You have your pick and Jody's now, so it gives you some more value. And then you also have a second round pick, which you can package that second round pick with some other player that is on your team, which would be like DeAndre Swift, for example. Package him with him because DeAndre Swift, he's 26, he's aging. So package that and a second for another first round pick for somebody that's contending, or a younger player, right? So these are things that you really got to think about whenever you're doing your trades. You don't want to trade away CeeDee Lamb. Probably he's kind of your corner piece right now. He's still got probably 2 or 3 really good years, so he's still gonna have high dynasty value on that. And I'm gonna look over here. Sorry for the tangent. I'm just curious on this right here. So if I go to teams and I click on. Let's click on, where's Jody's team? There it is. The 3X champ activity. Right? Alrighty. So if you just look at the points, right, it looks like it's in favor of Seekers there. But what it's not taking into account is if you go on the actual trade calculator, it'll show you a different thing there. Oh, let's go dynasty process. Let's see here. Dynasty process. I mean, I don't think it's taking into account a lot of stuff, but it's showing like the first rounds are equal. They're not equal. You have an early first versus a late first, so it's not as granular as you like. And then it's showing Kincaid, which is a tight end, is similar points to RJ Harvey as a running back. I don't think those are really comparable. So even if I go over here to the trade calculator, and let's just say we reverse the trade. RJ Harvey, 2026. I usually do like a mid, but let's do that, I guess. All right, and then you got Kincaid, which again is not. He's not even the focal point of the Buffalo Bills passing attack. I mean, you're lucky to get a decent game out of him, 1 or 2 a year, but it's not someone that you're going to get a lot. What else do we have? We had why can't I think? Calvin Ridley. We had J.K. Dobbins. Okay, why can't I just do Dobbins then? Dobbins. And then the 2026 late. Wow, well, I'm going to do that yet for some reason. But it's a late first. These are not the same points at the end of the day, really. But if you put it in the calculator here, it's now showing with the I keep track cuts the one that does this here. Calculators shows a fair trade, which is nice, but still, at the end of the day, the point is, in my opinion, it pushes your team the wrong way, Seekers. So I know I spent a lot of time talking about this. I'm just very passionate about this trade for some reason. I don't know why, but I just don't see how it helps your team there. Makes you an older team, and it gives you, I don't know, it gives you a worse first round pick. I think what really hurts is that first round pick swap, but that's just me. It's just me. If you kept your first and took Jody's, I think that'd be more fair in the long run. But right now these points are what they are. I just don't think that 26-year-old, 30-year-old, and 26-year-old is worth it. So, all right, I'll move on from that. Alrighty, and let's go back to any other activity to talk about. This is after the few Thanksgiving games. I thought Kelly got me, by the way, which we'll segue into that here. One thing I'll throw out here is Bryce did pick up Adonai Mitchell, which did really good for his game with the Jets. 20 points. It's not bad. 12 targets. I know that Garrett Wilson's out. When he comes back, it'll be a little different maybe, but, that's what it is there. Anything else? No, nothing else. All right, let's dive through these matchups really quick before I run out of steam here, and we'll just cover these. So, myself and Kelly here, I'm up to Sunday afternoon. I thought Kelly had me. Like, he had a good performance from Rashee Rice, A.J. Brown. Judkins did decent for him as well. And my team was not doing good. Jahmyr Gibbs only got 10 points. I had Josh Allen and Nico Collins on Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know, whatever day that was that they played. I think it was Thursday. But they Josh Allen underperformed. Nico kind of performed a little more than he was expected, but still not as much as I needed him to for those two games. So I was just basically going into Monday needing some help there, which I got the help from Andy there. Got me 14 points. So again, I was at 133 going into Monday night, so I just need 3 points from the kicker. So if I did not make that change, I would have lost. What really saved me was Seahawks defense, though. 30 points. Thank you, Seahawks defense. Brock Bowers also helped me a bunch, the tight end. Point differential of 19 points. Like I said, you want one of those top tight ends. If you're going to trade for a tight end, you want the top guy. So, Saquon let me down. Again, Pickens did okay, but not quite as good. DJ Moore, I didn't even see him on the field. I watched that game because Miranda is a Eagles fan. So I watched that game. I didn't see DJ Moore almost any. It says he got 5 targets. I only saw a couple maybe. I was afraid he wasn't even on the field. But he did not get it done this week, unfortunately. But yeah. And then Kelly, already threw out your kind of hits this week. So GG though, Kelly. I thought you had me for sure, but I got lucky, pulled it out. Next, we can look at Pirtle and Seegers. Pirtle. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention as well. Kelly had like the third highest score this week, I think. The third highest score. So you just got unlucky playing the best score this week, which is myself. So that always is no fun when you're playing fantasy football. You put up a good week, you could beat almost anybody but the person you beat. So the only other person you want to beat would have been Pirtle. He had 143. Beat Seegers. He only had 99. So Pirtle had 29 points from Mahomes, which is great. Devontae Adams got 19 points. I mean, Devontae Adams he's one of the people that Calvin really wishes he could be, because he's still 32 years old, 11 years in the league, balling out. He is pretty much always been, except for the first 2 seasons at Green Bay, but once they kind of unlocked him that third year in Green Bay, since then he's been great. 2019 he was wide receiver 24, but he only played 12 games, so which is crazy. 2020 he was wide receiver 1, but only played 14 games. So he missed 3 games. So yeah, it's that was a wild year for him. I didn't even realize it was that good for him, but yeah. So yeah, Devontae Adams did great. Kelsey did decent for you. Chase Brown, Booty pulled through for you as well. And your kicker and defense there did decent. And then Seegers, DeAndre Swift did decent for you. CeeDee Lamb did decent. Sutton, but that's about it. And I don't think it mattered if you had some people on the bench that may have improved your score, but I don't think anything you would have done would have got you to where you need to be. So yeah, here's what it is there. All right, let's see here. Let's look at Rance and Isaac. Rance defeats Isaac 132 to 117, so a little bit of a closer game than the other one there. But so with Rance, Bijan carried him there. Christian Watson had a great game. I watched part of that game there. He had some good catches, only 4, but 80 yards, so 20 yards a catch on average, pretty good. Trey McBride did good. For the sake of the Cardinals, we're hoping that Kyler does not come back, because apparently when Jacoby's in there, they throw the ball a lot more and they're better. So yeah, Trey McBride did good for you there. And then your defense in New England did good. Looking at the bench, you had Vidal that did good, but we never know when that's going to happen. I think Hampton may come back this week, so that may be Vidal's last big game. I think they'll ease Hampton back in, so we'll probably have a game with the split carries, and then if he's healthy and looks good, they'll probably unleash him again going forward. They're going to need some help with Justin Herbert getting hurt, so I don't know if I don't know who their backup is. Trey Lance is the backup. Wow, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So, yeah. So Trey Lance doesn't get some starts. Maybe he'll finally get a chance to prove himself a little bit. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see here. Yeah, and then Isaac, Jared Goff did decent for you there, and Terry McLaurin did crazy good for what I would expect a pretty down Commanders offense. They have Mariota there throwing the ball, and they were against Denver, which is a great defense. So I wouldn't have thought that McLaurin, he did have 14 targets, which is great, but he had 7 catches, 96 yards, touchdowns, pretty decent. And then you had Aubrey there that did good for you as well. I think he's still he's number 3 kicker now. So he's not had as many big games. He's had a couple. He had a 22-pointer and a 17-pointer. Other than that, though, he's been kind of not as explosive as what he's been in the past. So Um, yeah, last year he had 185 points. So we'll see. See if he can improve that. He's got a few more games here. So let's see here. Anything else to talk about here on the benches? Charbonnet for you there, but I don't think that makes a big difference. Let's go back here. All right, let's look at Brent and Jody. Jody beats Brent 117 to 62. Brent continues his streak. Not the streak that you want, but he does. He continues his streak there. We have Juwan Jennings on your team, Brent, that overperformed. He's the only one in the green there. And then, really, Jody's team underperformed a bit more than what they were expected. Stafford did not have the game that he normally has. Jonathan Taylor did not. Justin Jefferson certainly didn't. You know, Jody, I don't think you can play Justin Jefferson. I'm trying to help you out here. I really don't think you can play him in this year. He's just not going to have the quarterback play to get you. It doesn't matter how good of a receiver you are if you're not going to throw you the ball, you know. Jamar Chase did okay, but certainly could have done better. He didn't get a touchdown, which is kind of unfortunate there. 7 receptions, 110 yards on 14 targets. So Tyler Warren did not do what he normally does either. I would say Houston defense has kind of stepped it up a bit. Kyron Williams, you thought he would do good against Carolina. Zay Flowers get you negative points. You know, whenever we saw that trade earlier between you and Pirtle, I mean, you did get his first round pick. So, and Zay Flowers for Keenan Allen, which I don't know if Keenan Allen even does anything anymore. Bryce Young, which is probably not going to have the team next year. I don't know. He keeps having hit or miss games. And then a third round pick. So, yeah, still say Jody for that first round pick is probably worth that. I don't know. But it's a little closer maybe than I thought. I thought Zay Flowers was going to really take off this year. Because when you made that trade, it was, the second or third week, I think. So, and Zay Flowers had a 24-point game, 11-point game. So, yeah. Now, Zay Flowers is still pretty young, so he could certainly turn things around. Speaking of turning things around, you had Jamison Williams turn things around this week for you. Goose Joe last week. You had the nerve to play him this week. It's tough to do. So, but he got you 23 points, so pretty good. And then you got the 49ers there. That did decent for you. So, I don't think there's anything on the bench. You got Bryce Young there that did okay this week, actually, 22 points. So he's QB 17, which is okay. But anything else to talk about there? No, I mean, you mentioned that McPherson got 24 points. That's pretty nuts. So running out of steam here. All right. You got RJ Harvey on the bench and Joe Burrow that did decent. Joe Burrow would get you more points than Stafford, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think RJ Harvey's a great pickup for you there, Jody. Alrighty. And then the last matchup was Drew and Bryce. So Drew pulled the upset there. Defeated Bryce 119 to 89. Just looking at, the matchups here. Drew and the Cowboys with Prescott and Javonte Williams did pretty decent for you there. Hunter Henry did good. Reminder Stevenson performed as well a little bit. So, you're the Patriots and Cowboys there. And then, your kicker and defense did great. So, that helps you beat Bryce. His team, unfortunately for him, St. Brown got hurt very early in the game, so he got a goose there. Adunze basically got a goose. Gadsden almost got a goose as well. Puka did not play well because Matthew Stafford did not play well. JSN, for some reason, didn't get a lot of action, but they really didn't need him. So, was he on all the snaps? He's about the normal snaps he's been the last few weeks. They just didn't need him though. He wasn't they were ahead the whole game. So, and then Brian Thomas Jr. almost goosed you as well. I don't know what's happened to your wide receiver room there, Bryce. Your Brian Thomas Jr., JSN, Puka, Adunze, St. Brown. I mean, that's still, I think, the best wide receiver room in the league. It's just they did not perform this week, so hopefully they do better for you going forward. Good news, though, is you got Bucky Irving back, so nothing too bad about that. Now you have Hubbard on the bench, got your 19 points, so not bad there. And then Bam Knight got you 14 points. So Adonai Mitchell, as we talked about earlier, got you 20 points. And Kyle Pitts got 11 points for you. So you had some players on the bench, so it got you some hope. There's got to make the right coaching decisions. Okay, let's move on to the redraft right quick. Trying to get this done before I pass out from exhaustion here. All right, so opposite here on the redraft side. Actually, let me look at any kind of. I don't think there's a lot of activity this week. Brent picked up Trevor Lawrence off the waivers there, which actually did okay this week. 25 points isn't too bad. Drew got Devin Neal, getting not a bad pickup. Only got 8 points this week, but 82% of the snaps is pretty decent. So, anything else to talk about here? Purtle pick up Caleb Williams, which the Bears are really turning things around points-wise. Now, Caleb Williams only got 11 points, but they're a winning team, so we'll see what happens going forward there. I dropped Bill on this. I mean, I don't want to have him on my team. And then Purtle dropped Braylon Allen. So, all right, looking at the matchups here, myself and Kelly. Kelly beat me in this. I beat him in the Dynasty League. He beat me here, so I guess we're even. But Kelly won 105 to 78. My team just did not perform. Got Dak Prescott that did well, and that's about it. The rest of my team was just MIA, I guess. On the bench, I did have Terry McLaurin, but I didn't think playing him over Jamar Chase. Maybe I should play him over Dunze. It wouldn't have made a difference, though. I still would have lost. But it'd been a lot closer to 18 or more points or so. So I'd have had 96, but I still would have lost, so it doesn't really matter. Woody Marks did not do well. Did Woody Marks play the whole game even? He only had the snaps. I think he got hurt at some point. So, yeah. Pickens did okay. Ibuka did not do good. I thought he was a lot better against Arizona, so that's kind of sad. But yeah, just didn't get it done this week. Kelly, you had Brissett that did well. RJ Harvey did well. Nico that did well. Sutton that did pretty decent as well. And you had some couple of guys on your bench, Juwan Jennings, Ertz. So, I mean, overall, your team showed up. Mine didn't. Can't say anything bad about that. All right, Bryce and Rance. Rance won against Bryce there, 132 to 108. Looking at Bryce's side there, kind of the same boat I was in. Only had really two shining spots there, which was Kelsey and then also the Seahawks defense. I will say getting 30 points in your defense and still losing is kind of hard to do, but you did it. So congratulations, Bryce. Yeah, you made a statistical anomaly, I think, there. But to be fair, on Rance's side, he had a lot of green there. Javonte Williams, Robinson, Jameson Williams. Goodness, Jamal Williams. He's not even playing anymore, I don't think. And then Pitts and Judkins, and then your defense. So, I mean, he just had a lot more green on his side there. And he had Vidal on the bench, so he could have placed him in there maybe. And got a few more points. It wouldn't have been much more points, though. I guess you got your second flex, yeah. You could have got 17 more points. But still a good game for you there. And then looking at the next one here, Isaac and Jody. Isaac defeats Jody 125-79. Jody he's already threw in the towel, I know, but I think he was trying to hold on to a glimmer of hope, but his team just wasn't able to get done. 79 points there, which may be the lowest score this week. Let's see here. Nope. I was the lowest score by 1. I was trying to make myself feel a little bit better. Did not happen, though. So, Jody, congratulations. You were not the lowest scoring team this week. I was 1 point. Actually, less than 1 point, but that's okay. Yeah, so, but Isaac defeated Jody. Holmes helped you out a bunch there, Isaac. A.J. Brown did as well. You got Brock White, not Barrington White. Oh, my gosh. Tell you I'm tired. Didn't sleep good because stuffed up. But yeah, so you got him that he didn't even play a snap. Didn't practice Tuesday. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't think he's gonna play this week. Yeah, I guess he got hurt there. Righty, so he's probably not gonna play. Going forward with a neck injury. But yeah, overall, I think you had those really couple good performances that helped carry you. Now, I will say, Jody, you had, I guess, technically David Montgomery out. He's green, so he outperformed his projection a little bit. But Brock Bowers is really your shining star this week, and your defense in Buffalo. Now, you had Jordan Love with 32 points. So if you had played him over Lamar, which I wouldn't have blamed you for playing Lamar first over against Cincinnati. I mean, you thought that would be a pretty high-scoring game with Joe Burrow coming back. It was not a high-scoring game from the Baltimore side of the ball. But yeah, so I mean, it would have won you though. You still would have lost. I mean, you only have 28 points, so that would have made a big difference for you difference-wise. You would had 105-ish, so you still need about 20 more points. Yeah. So, Isaac, you're going to have to get you a tight end, though, looks like. You had some players on your bench as well. Isaac, that may have made a little bit of difference on your score, but you won fair and square. All right, and then looking at Brent and Seegers here. A bit of a closer match here. Seegers won 105 to Brent's 100. So on Brent's side, he had Trevor Lawrence that outperformed a bit. Hunter Henry, barely. Bucky Irving. So you played him right off the bat, which is takes some guts there. So kudos to that, Brent. And then your bench had a lot of good players too. So I bet you're happy you won, so you're not kicking yourself in the butt there. But Chase Brown, Bam Knight, Devin Singletary, and Jared Goff all did well. Yeah, I think Singletary is going to be the new guy there, by the way, because I'm pretty sure Tyrone Tracy got hurt, if I'm not mistaken. He's fine after suffering hip contusion. Well, we'll see if that holds up. But Devin Singletary might be the back this week, so lucky you already got him. Yeah, so, and then on Seeger's side, I mean, Drake made it decent for you. Devon Achane did decent. CeeDee Lamb did good for you, but that's about it. You know, your defense. Those Carolina Panthers playing the Rams. You can't play against the Panthers. They're too good. You shouldn't play any defense. And that's a little sarcasm and stuff. So, yeah, you would think that any defense going against Carolina would be a good streaming option at least. So, alrighty, and then the last matchup here, Pirtle and Drew. Drew won 120 to Pirtle's 90. So it's a good game for you there. Drew, let's see here. Did Sam Darnold get hurt in the middle of the game? No, he played most of the game. It looks like his ankle was injured, but he played 96% of the snaps. Only got you 1 point, though. So that's the old Sam Darnold we know and trust. I guess they didn't need the points, though, because their defense got all the points. So, all right, let's see here. What else? You know, on Pirtle's side, you know, King Henry didn't quite get it done for you. Jonathan Taylor. You did have Devontae Adams that did well. I don't know what to do with Waddle. He's such a curious case. Last couple weeks, he's not done good, though. You think, though, after Tyreek going down, he would be just the guy, but that's not really been the case. He's not had a big up. He hasn't seen really an uptick at all in targets almost. So, yeah. Kittle didn't get a touchdown this week, so he kind of underperformed for you. Pittman also did not deliver at all this week. Wow. Glad I don't have Pittman. You got Jalen Warren, and then also San Francisco. Defense did well, but Jalen Warren did okay, I guess. I don't know. I'm starting to get to the ramble mode. Hit my wall here, so if anyone's still listening, appreciate you, but sorry. All right, and then on Drew's side, you had Rashee Rice that did great. Trey McBride did really well for you. Christian Watson that did good, and your defense. So you had some people carry you for sure. Looking on the bench there, Pearl's got DeAndre Swift. He's the RB16. Over Warren against Buffalo. I can see why you do that, maybe. Yeah. And you think Philadelphia's probably a worse matchup. So I understand why you did that. Yeah. But yeah. You left some points on your bench with Swift there, and Godwin did okay. Did a lot better than Ibuka. But anything else to note here? Oh, on your bench there, Drew, you had a lot of overperformers as well. With Purdy did pretty decent. Tootin overperformed his projections. Charbonnet, Jacoby Myers, that's the most notable one I think there. He did really good. Starting to settle in with the Panthers, getting some targets, starting to build some consistency. So he may be the guy there for the remainder of this year. And then you got Alec Pierce as well that did pretty decent. Took all the luck away from Pittman there. All right. All right. Let me go ahead and let's do the last part here, which is the playoff calculator. Let's see what we got for the Dynasty League. So still the same 6 teams. Really, the only thing to look at is the adjusted win percentage there. I went up a bit from last week to 39%. Jody's at 24. Bryce is at 15. Pearl's at 10. Kelly's at 9. And then Rance is at 4. So you got me leading the pack right now as far as that percent to win. So we'll see what happens there. And then let's look at the redraft here. I probably dropped a bit in redraft because I lost this week. But let's take a look here. Still 99% to make the playoffs for myself, Purtle, and Rance. And then we have Drew, Kelly, and Seegers, and Bryce kind of all fighting for the last few spots there for the playoffs. So Bryce, you really got to win, I think, and so because you're 6 and 7, yeah, so you have to basically win the next 2 games to get in. So hopefully that works for you. And if you want to get in, I'm sure you do. Seegers, you probably just need to win 1 more. Same way with Drew and Kelly. So each of you all need to win at least 1 to have a chance. I don't know what the matchups look like, so it depends on who you're facing, I guess, too. But this is a really pretty close, except for Jody being 3 and 10. Everyone else is, pretty close. 5, 6, 7, 8 wins. So, it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But a lot of close matches this year in the redraft. So that's why I like to see it, though. Looking at the win finals, though, Purtle is favored here at 32%. So that's something to look at. Rance at 21, myself at 14, and then Drew at 11. And we're kind of the top 4 teams that are pretty much gonna make the playoffs, and then we need 2 more teams. So we'll see what happens from there. Now, once the playoffs start, anything can happen. These are just projections. So, all right. Well, that will end the show for today. I'm gonna go pass out now, and yeah, I hope to. Well, we got 2 more weeks, right? No, 3, right? No, I can't think. Pretty sure we got 3 weeks left. Yeah, 13. Yeah, 14. Oh, okay. So we got 14, and then we have 15, 16, 17. So next week is the last week for the playoffs. For the into the playoffs. The last regular season week. Okay. Well, that makes sense then. So yeah, you not the next 2 games I was just mentioning though, but for the on the redraft here, the bottom teams trying to compete for the playoff spot. We really have to win this next game, and then if there's any ties, hope you have the most points for out of the tiebreaker. So we'll see what happens. Going to be a very interesting week, and then we'll kick off playoff week, which is going to be interesting as well. I wish everyone the best of luck on that. All right. Well, y'all have a great rest of your evening, and I will talk to you next week.